If I can name session 4, it would be, okay, I did all my research, I know what I want to buy, but how do I do it? I walk into session 4 and I went in hoping that they did their homework, because in session 3 we went through the key things to research when you pick stocks, and they had to narrow it down to the top 3 based upon the research that they did at home. And so I was excited to see if they did their homework, kind of hoping that they did their homework, but they actually did. So they came in and we went around the room and they had to highlight key things they looked at when they decided on their top 3 stocks. So for example, they were looking at the financials of the company. They were looking at the stock chart. They were looking at the 52-week high, the 52-week low. And it was really great to see how they took what we learned in session 3 and applied it to actual companies they decided to invest in. And so once we kind of decided, okay, these are the top 3 stocks that you want, the next step is, okay, great, I did my research. I know what I want. How do I do it? And this is where the conversation comes in. Okay, well, what accounts do you use? And essentially the account that you use to make an investment for an individual person is a brokerage account. And so it pretty much just connects the buyer of an investment to the seller of an investment. And so I always get tons of questions as to what's the best account to use. You know, there's all these new apps out there. And so we essentially did research on pretty much all of them. And one of the things that people have to realize is that these accounts do the exact same thing. They just have different features. And so for instance, if you go get a checking account at a bank, they pretty much, all checking accounts pretty much do the same thing. It's just that it has different company names, or they have different features. Some have different fees. So every account pretty much allows you to invest in the stock market, but every account has different features. And so as opposed to telling them, hey, these are the accounts that you should use or you shouldn't use, let's research them all and let's dig deep to see the pros and the cons. And so once they did their research, they started to see, hey, this account has a minimum requirement. This account has this fee. This account doesn't have this fee. And so we kind of worked to help them get to a point where they started as beginners to make their first purchase, but using an account that allows them to do that. And so by the end of the class, all of the men walked out, black men walked out with a brokerage account. So that was exciting, but now they are ready to make that first purchase because they've done the research, they've narrowed it down to what they wanted to invest in. Now they have the account open, and so now they're ready to say, hey, I'm ready to become an investor, I'm ready to take that next step. But we essentially focused on the key accounts to use for them as beginners to start investing.